Hey. I don't know who does not have the singing voice is always the one who wants to be the loudest, and that would be me.
Well, that's okay.
No, your voice sounds good.
We don't have an issue with that.
We don't.
Right. Welcome everyone to another episode of Not Your Typical Girl Talk, and as usual, we will introduce ourselves in alphabetical order.
Hey, y'all. This is Carcia. I am a part of the Not Your Typical Girl Talk crew, and I'm super excited to be here because I'm with my girlfriends.
Right?
Hey.
Like all you need to do is cue the girlfriend song. Right? There through thick and through. Anyway, hello everyone. Happy New Year. I am Telly. I'm also a part of this amazing crew. If y'all don't know, now you're gonna know, the Not Your Typical Girl Talk crew. T-shirts, mugs, cups, candy, all these things are coming soon. Keep it locked here. You'll see it. You're gonna want it.
I love it. And I am the final member of this girl group because I like to think of us as a girl group. My name is Chiba, and welcome to Not Your Typical Girl Talk. If it's your first time, welcome. And if you joined us before, thank you for coming back. If you're listening to us on Radio Regent, thank you. And make sure you're following all of our social medias on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram at Not Your Typical Girl Talk. So, ladies, woo!
Hey, wow.
How was everyone's New Year?
Happy New Year.
You know what? It was good. I mean, it was at home. Funny enough, I was actually watching a girlfriend's marathon. So it's better. You mentioned that.
Good old Tracy Ellis Ross.
I spent it watching a girlfriend's marathon and having food. I did not have to cook. Hallelujah, because I ordered it, and having wine. So you know what? It was pretty good. I can't complain. What about you ladies?
Keys as well.
Very
it was good.
key.
We attempted to try and see what we could find on cable, which was absolutely nothing. So we just kind of we did the same thing. We watched a bunch of Netflix things. When midnight finally struck, we were like, Happy New Year.
And then done.
And then, we put ourselves. I had some Baileys. She had some wine. We're like toast.
Then I went to bed.
I love it. You know what's so funny? Because for everybody listening and watching, this week's episode will be our future me letters. And I'm going to tell you why we're doing it, because this show started out of letters that we wrote to ourselves back in 2019 that were delivered in 2020. You will get to hear these letters before we read the new letters. But let's just say that we entered 2021 like bosses because we did not do the same for 2020. And like Telly likes to say, we were probably suffering from some PTSD from a lot of the stuff that we were enduring in 2019. So if y'all thought that 2020 was tough, you'll listen to our future me letters from last year, and you'll see we had something going on. So that is how the show started. We each got a future me letter, realized that we were not living up to our fullest queen, boss, black girl magic potential. And we started the show, and you will hear for the first time, as each of us will hear each of our letters for the first time, the letters that we wrote to ourselves 2020 into 2021. And if you have not done it, we will recommend you go to futureme.org. You can write a future me letter to yourself. You can date it for whenever you want, months or years. But it's very interesting to see where you were a year ago when you read these letters.
Definitely.
Definitely. So I guess am I first?
Yes, you're first.
Okay, so here is the letter, everyone, just so you all know. 2019 was a strange year because it was a year coming out of, myself being laid off from a company where I was one of the founding employees. I was very not okay. So this letter came along, and this is what I had written to myself.
This is your
So,
2020.
I wrote this letter January 2nd of 2019. Okay. And I was feeling myself, apparently. Hey, girl, it's all right. So, dear future me, by now you have entered a new bracket of wealth. Okay, all right. I'm writing to remind you of where you're coming from. Today, you are about to launch an online fashion boutique. In a few weeks, you start your coding classes and you have started on a healthy journey. Yes, you are cute, but at 40, you're even hotter.
You are hot though, so
Thanks. You're gonna feel like this has been a full year, but all that work that you've put in is why you have more cash now. Why you have a company that is bursting at the seams in work.
yes, girl.
Right now, I want you to continue to focus on the brand.
Okay.
That is all that matters. My personal brand is all that matters. Continue to push because we need that bag. Next goal is in beauty with shadows and lipsticks.
Ooh.
Continue to watch your health and weight.
Yes,
We need to keep it small and tight. Can't wait to see what you do for 2020, girl. I believe in you.
Oh.
That was fire.
No, that letter was fire, girl.
Fire.
That was my letter.
Yes.
And how much of that did
Yeah.
you actually do going into 2020?
So when I came into 2020,
Mm-hmm.
I had gone in with that much confidence to be like, this is all going to work out. This is all what's going to happen. But girl, wow, this is going to testify.
Testimony service.
Like Sister Johnson
Oh.
at an evangelistic service.
Yes, on a Saturday night.
With the
Sunday
spirit
night.
just being thrown upon everyone, because
Woo, higher
I got a
ground.
testimony. And my testimony is, and one thing, and we'll go into this, but the word control, I thought I had it all under control. I thought I had it all under control. Obviously, I didn't think that, hey, the world does exist outside of you, Garcia. The world has its own agenda, and there is nothing you can do about it to change that agenda. And girl, did it not change everyone's agenda?
Woo! All of that.
There was nothing in there
Child.
about COVID-19.
I don't recall that in the manual.
COVID-19 wasn't a part of my plan. COVID-19 was just a little rumor going on between doctors on WhatsApp at the time when I wrote that letter. Like, it didn't mean anything. And girl,
All of that. So with that,
anyway,
we're upside down. But I will say it inspired us to start the show. And of course, the viewers and the listeners are going to hear each of our old Future Me letters and of course our Future Me letters that we wrote in 2020 that were delivered in 2021. So
Right.
now that you went through that experience, I'd love to now hear, Garcia, your Future Me letter that you wrote to yourself that was delivered yesterday.
Yes. And this letter is hilarious because, again, I thought I knew what 2020 was going to look like. I had my 2020 vision on.
2020 vision.
Girl.
I had it on.
We had it on.
So here's the letter.
Ready.
Okay.
And you're going to laugh because I laughed myself.
I'm
Okay.
ready. I'm ready.
Okay.
So, dear future me. By the way, this was emailed to me today, January 2nd, 2020. Okay. Dear future me. So, you didn't stay focused in 2019. So see, 2019 was such a rough year that I referenced it, having no idea what 2020 was going to bring, y'all. Okay, so
go ahead, girl.
You added, and this is true, you added 2 medications and put on a couple pounds. The store flopped. You were laid off. And then you took a job that you hated. So this year, things are going to change.
Yes.
You need to focus on your music and content creation around it. Now,
you did.
That you
did.
You did.
I did look at that and I was like, okay, so by now, reading this letter, you should be making money from the following streams.
Okay.
Merchandise from music and content, streaming, online stores, speaking panels, influence, collaborations, film, and TV work. If you devote to these streams 100% for a year, you must see a difference. I know you are sitting here now, writing this letter, sitting in a place where you don't want to be. You didn't plan to be here, but that's okay because as you write this, you needed that change. As you read this now, you relish in the changes you made January 2020, and you are now better for it. Let's never lose our focus again. Building someone else's dream, getting lost in what we think will impress people. Do what makes you feel good and follow that passion.
Oh, I love that.
So that was my letter, and it's funny because there is so much growth from that previous letter I wrote in comparison to this. And I know already I start to see, because a lot of things that happened in 2020 that I did take on aren't in this letter.
Right.
Right? Like, because
2020.
We didn't know there was going to be a pandemic.
But I'll get more into that after.
Yes, yeah.
But just reading these letters, the growth, the amount of growth between even 2019 letter to this 2020 letter, it's major.
Difference. No, it's a major difference. It's a major difference.
Major.
In one of the hardest years we've experienced. And again, you said we'll talk about that after we each go through this process, but what a difference a year makes. That's all I'm going to say.
So true.
Now,
guys, Kelly girl.
Yes, I am still chasing that bag. But so here is my letter from last year when we were all sitting with our beautiful selves and pouring out our hearts to our fan base. That's what I said, fan base, about how our year actually, well, what we hoped would come. And well, here, just listen. I'll turn it up.
I wrote mine on January 2nd, and I got it delivered to me at hi everybody. Hi, and it got delivered on January 1st. And I didn't realize I got it until Percio and you guys were talking, and then I said, "Oh, I should check what mine says," and I wish I never did.
Yep.
Okay, so it says, "Dear future me, it's January 1st, 2019. You have your website, your business license. And now you're in the process of getting started. You and Karcia are going to give the music another chance because you know you're way too talented to keep the gift that God gave you to yourselves. You're going to share all your gifts to the world. I know that you have always had your ups and downs with business and life, but this time is going to be different. You're a different person now. Your faith in God and your faith in yourself will get you through to the goals you have set. Just keep your eyes on the prize. You and Kirsten are going to travel, meet new and amazing people who will lift you up, meet the men who will love, adore, cherish, and commit to you. So many amazing things in store for the both of you. For the both of you, my loves. Yeah, that's what it says. I'm just reading this now, so this is literally I'm literally just reading this now. Just keep God first and watch the blessings of the Lord. Okay, let me just say that you
You just said get that bag. The bag that I never got. Yeah, so that was me. But once again, although we were going through the PTSD, I still had that vision to say, you know what, this is it. And of course, God had something else in store. And I was not aware that there was going to be an exam on how you're going to deal with your life as God throws a pandemic in your face. And I just, once again, it wasn't even an open book exam. Like the only open book exam was the Spanish flu in the 1800s. Who the hell's alive to tell us about that? Nobody. So it was literally exploring and trying to figure out how to still keep a positive mindset in a pandemic and being hit left and right with our own show, with filming, and being like, okay, technology, don't fail us now because we need to keep this going and to encourage other people to keep doing the same. 2020 was a bitch. It was a bitch. But this is my letter that I got yesterday. And you know what? I'm okay with. Here we go. I'm okay with it. I'm like, okay, there's something.
I'm ready, girl. I'm ready.
Let's
Come
go.
through.
Let's go.
And some things where I'm like, okay, God, what's up? But we'll get to that. So, dear future me, you have your website. You got all the things you need to accept payment, and now you are in the process of getting started. You worked. Wait, am I on the right one? Yeah. You've worked on your music, and now it's time to take the Her Castle Girl brand all the way to the top, and always defying gravity. You're going to finish your EP and release your first single.
You did!
Oh!
You did!
Check mark. Our show with my co-host Toshiba and Karsia, Not Your Typical Girl Talk, will take off. Our audiences are going to grow more and more each day. The three of you are going to turn this world upside down with amazement and wonder.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
Okay, girl.
You're going to
I got it the letter, girl.
You're going to get real about your weight and health, getting back on track with proper exercise and food. I know that you've always had your ups and downs with your business and with time. Wait. I know you've always had your ups and downs with business, but this time it's different. You're a different person now. Your faith in God and yourself will get you through all the goals you have set. Once again, just keep your eyes on the prize. You're going to travel, meet new amazing people who will lift you, meet the man God has chosen for you, who will love, adore, and cherish and commit. I like this. Wait. All right, Chantel 2020, come through. You're gonna keep. Yeah, sorry, y'all. I'm getting lost in my own. Oh, I love my own letter. You and Cara are both gonna be able to be the breadwinner of your household and take excellent care of your mom and dad. You'll both be the first millionaires of your family and be an inspiration to everyone, all while remaining humble. So many things are in store for you, my love. Just keep God first and watch the blessings of the Lord fall.
That was
Love
Drop
it.
the
such
phone.
a good letter.
I love my own letter.
I love
That
it.
was such
Well, the whole man thing is still waiting on, but
a letter. Okay,
I must say, I enjoyed that letter too. Wow.
you dropped that. You dropped that thing. Okay, drops Mike. I don't know if my letter got nothing on that, but like a good for you. That is such a good letter. Okay, so I'm ready. It is my turn. So
Queen Chiba.
listen, girl.
Okay. Stop it, girl.
Last year's letter was a disaster, as you guys know. So I'm just gonna go ahead and play it. Oh God! Come on, YouTube! Don't film me now.
Come on, YouTube.
Let's get it together,
Come
YouTube.
on. Okay.
No, mine. It was composed on January 2nd. And it said, Dear future me, you are about to embark on a new journey. It's going to be filled with ups and downs. However, it is important that you stay the course. You are built for greatness and will never fulfill your desire for freedom as long as you continue to be an employee. Entrepreneurship is the direction your life must take in order to live your life you truly desire. A life without an alarm clock, filled with travel, exploring various business opportunities, your clothing boutique, your business coaching, charitable work, and all the things that the universe has in store. It is time for you to refocus on love and open yourself up to the possibilities it will bring. You need to step outside of your comfort zone and begin dating men that will help you grow and are looking for partnership. A man that sees beyond your physical attractiveness and wants to get to know your heart and character. One who makes you uncomfortable in a good way because he pushes you to think beyond perceived limitations. With the right partner, there is no limit to what you can achieve. Make this year your best year on the road to even better years. Love yourself through everything you will experience. With self-love, you can overcome all the obstacles thrown your way. Toshiba, aka Queen Boss.
Nice. I love it.
Girl, let me tell you, girl, 2019 didn't bring none of that. However, did. Which is right. Enough. And we'll talk about that, of course, after I read my letter that I wrote after that letter. So that letter again was written in 2019, January 2019. This letter I'm about to read I wrote this on January 1st, 2020 after reading, getting that one. So this letter says, Dear future me, this year will be the year you face your fears. Your fear of falling in love and being loved. Your fear of loss of yourself if you don't take the path that leads you to your ultimate goal of entrepreneurship. Loss of control if you finally give in to love. Your fear of not being able to live up to your promise of giving Trey the life you never had. Your fear of not being as strong as everyone sees and think you are. You will walk into this year knowing that you can do anything that you want to achieve if you believe in yourself and take the necessary actions. You will tackle your financial challenges not with fear, but with the resilience and strength that will allow you to be free of the burden of being riddled with debt. You will embrace the changes that are coming, knowing that each will make you a better and stronger version of yourself. This year, you will continue to commit to the journey of self-improvement you started in 2019. You will work on ensuring that your past no longer dictates your present and future. You will learn to walk presently in love, knowing that in order to truly love, you have to be okay with the possibility of hurt. This year promises to be quite a wild ride, so hold on, buckle your seatbelt, and let's go and get everything it has to offer. Make this year your best year on the road to even better years. Love yourself through everything you will experience. With self-love, you can overcome all the obstacles thrown your way. Toshiba, aka Queen Boss. Because apparently that's
I love that, Shiva.
I love it.
Oh my goodness. I love
But
that.
you know
That was
what?
beautiful.
I want to also just tap
That was
in
beautiful.
on, you know, intuition and, you know, me being the
the
Mindset
mindset.
coach?
yeah, and listening to the letters, you know, it is not a surprise that we got through 2020. When I read those letters, as much as we are quick to pick out, oh, that didn't happen and that didn't happen, but what I've noticed is the amount of encouragement at the end of each letter.
Oh, true.
You know, we all basically coached ourselves to say, no matter what comes, we're gonna deal with it. We're gonna win. We're gonna get through whatever obstacles come our way. And that was just our intuition speaking that, hell yeah, we're ready for anything that comes our way.
No, true.
Listen, no psychic came and told us, you know, what was going to occur in the like 2 months after
We wrote
letters.
Listen, there was no Miss Cleo or Sylvia Brown who could have told us that this world, like I actually wrote, it's going to be a wild ride. If that wasn't
this kind of wild ride, I thought when you said wild ride, I was thinking, like a good wild career-wide ride.
Yeah, you never think that a pandemic is gonna come and just shut the entire universe down. I mean, that is definitely not what we were all thinking about.
No.
Well, I think what happened in 2019, and if anybody gets a chance, the first episode of our show, which was February 1st, 2020, is on YouTube. So you can go on YouTube, on our YouTube channel, and scroll down, and you can actually hear more of the story. But the thing about what I think happened in 2019, I think we were so, and I'm going to use this word, it's not the word, but I think we're a little bit ashamed of ourselves at the fact that we had let other things control us. And so, you know, in a year that we thought we were going to kill it, like we were just like, we're going to kill it. You were going to get this bag, girl, tight and right. All these things that we thought, girl, we were doing the most, and the world, things got in our way. But it's interesting in 2020, because we'll talk about what we've been able to do now in 2020. 2020 really did get in our way, but we didn't allow it to stop us, because we realized the impact that having let 2019 stop us actually had on us. So I think it's interesting when I hear the letters and I hear you guys talking, I'm like, you did do that. You did do that. We didn't have that experience last year. It was like, we didn't do none of that.
Exactly.
We did nothing.
Exactly.
Because we were suffering from PTSD.
Yeah, and you know, I do want I do want people to understand too that we do have this concept or this perception that, oh, you know, I made a goal and I didn't hit it in the year that I said I was going to do it, so therefore I failed. And we're seeing here that things that we wrote for ourselves in our 2019 letters, we're just starting to see it come to fruition now.
That's very true.
Right? It didn't happen in 2020, but it's on its way to happen, or it didn't totally fulfill itself, but it definitely came along in 2020. It began.
Right.
And for me, totally, and we talk about this all the time between the three of us, but 2020 offered the most growth I've ever seen in myself.
Oh, amen.
In
Hallelujah.
my life.
In
my
hands.
life. Like even hearing the 2019 version of me,
Girl,
and looking at me
now,
looking at the letter that I have written myself that I will get in 2021. That letter is going to be of a higher, you know, and I'm not boasting about myself, but I'm gonna say
boast about yourself. That's
listen, I'm in a higher consciousness now.
Yes.
I'm closer to my higher level self than I was before. So therefore, now I look at the future me letter and I'm like, yeah, that sucked. However, look how much stuff I've done and look how much more is going to be done, because I think once you've hit, and I hate using this term of bottom, rock bottom, because rock bottom looks different to everyone depending on their situation, right? But some of us had our personal rock bottoms, and when you are told you're not enough, when you're told you don't deserve this, you don't deserve that, and you put up with it for 4-5 years.
Oh yeah.
And then you finally come out of it, you're jaded. And I think for the three of us, the experience that we went through, we were hella jaded. Which is the letters came out the way they did.
Definitely. Yep, that's for sure. But it's funny too, because like you said, because we all went through some serious hell in our jobs in 2019. And with the additional pandemic, you would have thought that would have been the last nail in the coffin to just finish off the three of us. Because, the three of us, we thrive off of being outside. Yeah. We thrive off of going out and mingling with each other. And we had our ideas for our show and filming in different places and traveling, all this stuff. So when the pandemic happened and all those things were taken, and now God is like, okay, girls, not only are you going to keep your backsides cool, I'm going to have you being alone with nothing else but your biggest fear, yourself. And guys, I went through so much hell. I faced some demons that I really did not want to face. Because clearly the demons that I thought I had fought off in 2019, they came right along with me in the beginning stages of 2020. And when I was just, hustling, bustling, putting everything in the back of my mind, and when the pandemic happened, you had nothing else to do but stay home and just sit there after you finished watching everything on Netflix.
Sit with yourself.
You're like, okay, I better just sit here then and sit in my feelings. And just like you ladies, I cried. I got mad. I cursed everything under the sun. I got even more mad than I was before. It was this crazy cycle. And I thought that would have been the end. But it's amazing how, although 2020 was a really bad year because of COVID and, people losing
numerous other things.
But aside from that, it is very, very, very interesting to see the growth that did happen. Like, we're in such a more positive place. Who would have thought that a negative cloud, or whatever, I guess like a negative situation would bring us out rising like a phoenix? If someone were to tell you that back in 2015, like Karsia, Toshiba, something's going to happen in 2020, it's going to be a pandemic, and you won't be able to see your family or loved ones for almost up to a year or maybe longer. You would have said, hell no, what? No, how am I going to survive that? No, that can't happen. Come on now. You would have thought the negative. No one would have thought that they would have grown this much. Like, girls, think about it. If we got through this, literally, there's nothing we can't get through. Truly.
Okay.
There's nothing we can't get through. We can survive anything.
Yeah.
The three of us can survive anything.
And you know what?
Man.
Just to jump in on something you said there, because it was so true. This idea of being stuck with yourself.
Yeah, man. That was
And,
scary.
you know, a lot of people had sort of an awakening or an awareness where they were like, do I like myself?
All of
Maybe
that.
that's why I'm always about all my friends all the time, because I don't actually like myself.
Because you don't even know yourself.
And girl. And a lot of people had to, like you said, they had to sit there and look themselves in the mirror. This year, I looked at myself in the mirror more times than I did ever in my life.
Girl.
And I had become so comfortable going on Zoom calls. Before, I would be like, okay, I need that extra 10 minutes just to put some concealer on and do whatever.
Right.
But
now you're
give
like,
me 4 or 5 months in isolation, and I'm like, this is my face.
You get what you get.
That's what I
tell people.
Yeah, this is my face.
Take it or leave it. This is it.
This is my face. Yes, this is the same sweatshirt I wore yesterday. You know, like
exactly. Yeah,
I had become so comfortable with me and being able to move in my confidence as me, without the persona, without the makeup, without the red lipstick, which I couldn't even talk if I wasn't wearing red lipstick. Now I talk too much. Like, you know, no matter what.
No matter what.
Right? And it's all because I had that time. And we talk a lot about time
We do.
and the importance of it and how much it's worth. And we were given the gift of time. Now, of course, yes, a lot of people, I had friends who had people that were dying.
Yes. Yeah.
You know,
it was a
we all had
year
relatives
still.
that had gotten sick. We had a relative that passed. And then around you, your friends are also having issues. A friend over here lost her brother. A friend over here lost her dad.
I also forgot the Black Lives Matter movement that were happening.
And then
those in as well.
So as a
pandemic.
So as a Black woman, you're dealing with that, and then you have people that are messaging you to find out if you're okay because you're a Black female, and they know that your life is being questioned if it matters or not. So we were dealing with all of that, and I don't, you know, and people that have children, you're worrying about your kids at the same time.
Yeah.
Will they get COVID? Will they get checked by the police today? You know, like there's all these questions going on, and you're expected to wake up in the morning, shower, make your bed, make breakfast, and show up somewhere, whether it's show up to work, show up for your kids, show up for someone that you're taking care of, with a smile, you know. And there was this one video actually that had gone viral. It's of a teacher, and he's teaching during the pandemic, and he's walking down the hallway. He has his mask off, and he looks, so he has his hands on his head, and he's stressing out.
Yeah.
Walking down the hall, and he stops right before he's supposed to go into a classroom. So he takes his mask and he puts it like around his chin. And he takes like 3 deep breaths, and then he
smiles,
puts a smile on his face,
marches into that classroom.
Marches into the class with a smile before he puts his mask on to show his kids that he's there for them. And I was like,
that's it.
That's
humanity
taught us to do.
Yep. That's humanity at this point.
It taught us to show up even when
we don't want to.
Stuff is ridiculous.
It was like the frontline workers. I mean, you know, they're going through hell every day.
God bless y'all. Every single person that works in a hospital, whether you're a nurse, whether you're in the janitorial services, whether you're in the admin, doctor, surgeon, whatever you are. God bless you. We're all here.
God protect and keep you. Because so much of what you just said there, you know, putting on a smile, even though you have no idea what's going to happen 2 minutes, 2 seconds from now.
Yeah.
I mean, people are putting their faith in a vaccine that we still have no clue even works. They're telling you to go to work, but don't go to work at the same time. Send your kids to school, but don't, because it's a lot. It's a lot. I wish everyone could see the live right now, because the facial expressions, it's priceless.
Listen, Linda, the fact, if you made it out of 2020, that's enough to applaud. And so, like, getting up every day and having to tackle what, it was interesting for me because at the beginning, I was so obsessed. I have to say, I was so obsessed with watching CNN every day. I would watch the broadcast from our prime minister. I would watch the broadcast from our premier about what was going on in the city, in the province, in the country, and then watching the ticker on CNN. It was so consuming, and I just thought, I'm just lucky to take this breath. And every morning I always, before the pandemic, will wake up and say, "Thank you, God, for waking me up this morning," because I understand what a blessing it is to even open my eyes and take that breath. True. But getting through every day in 2020 and actually not only striving but thriving. And I listened to the letters that you ladies wrote. And for those who do not know, please go on Spotify because Her Castle Girls, these ladies do actually have a single that they released. During the pandemic, they actually did it. Like, it is amazing. Through all the obstacles and all of the things that they had to go through, you were able to do that. Tell you, I've watched you thrive in terms of your health, right? Like, just do amazing things. I watched Chrissia. You became a life coach, and the things that you've done. I authored and published 6 books.
Hold on. You did a whole series.
You wrote a series.
Girl, this is like the Black Sex in the City. I'm waiting for Tyler Perry to pick it up already.
Yeah, Tyler, where are you at?
Tyler Perry, I know you're listening. Someone is Tyler Perry immediately.
Where are you at?
Like, Toshiba has a story for you, and we got a soundtrack to go with it.
I know. We got the soundtrack, right? I got you for this. But I listen and I look at these letters, and Karcia, you said it best. I've experienced more growth this year than I had, I would say, my previous 10. And that's not a huge. I can think about where I was in 2010, and I know the things I was going through, and I look at 2020, and I've catapulted myself to the next level. And I talked about in my first letter about freedom. I found a level of freedom I did not know existed in 2020. And in that, it goes to Telly's point, I had to really look at myself and realize what is it that I want. So I am on the path of entrepreneurship, but it's not the path that I thought I was going to take. And having a conversation, because I got to mention every week, having a conversation with my boyfriend today, the difference between doing something that you love and doing something to get you paid. And when I was speaking about entrepreneurship in the previous letter, it was something to get me paid. When I think about entrepreneurship now, it's based on my books. It's based on the show. It's based on where we can take the show and my books and all of the things that we can do, helping others to elevate their voice, which is what, I feel that the show is able to do in the books that I've written. So, and those are things that I'm passionate about that I would do for free, right? So, it's very, very different. And I had to really look at myself and because I was stuck. And I think I have a weekly call with someone who's also an entrepreneur, and we talked about the idea of feeling really stuck and how we had to become unstuck. And I feel like that freedom that I wanted, that I needed, getting unstuck happened in 2020, which happened to also be one of the hardest years of my life.
Girl.
Right? So it was the hardest year of my life, but the year for which I had the most growth. And I remember I write this in my book, which you ladies will read soon, but I said, I was out here thinking that I was soaring high in the sky, only to realize I was still on ground, flapping my wings, going nowhere. That's what I had been thinking all of these previous years. I thought I was soaring, and then I looked to realize, girl, you actually are still on the ground. You're just flapping your hands. And this year in 2020, with all of the weight and all of the burden that 2020 had, I actually took flight. And so interesting to me how, Jamaicans have a saying that says pressure bust pipe, which is you put too much pressure on something and it bursts. But we burst in the most amazing way because everything that was in us to come out started coming out.
Yes.
And so I'm so, I hear these letters and I'm so proud that despite everything that would have held us back, right? Like I ran track, and the best way, like if you got a trainer in track, what they do is they put the strap around you, they hold it, and you're trying to grab while they're holding you. And that's what 2020 did to us, and we still sprinted through it.
That's
right?
Exactly.
Here was somebody, 2020 was holding us, and we're trying to go. and we're trying to go, but we actually burst out. Where 2019, no one was holding us, but we were still flapping our wings, and we were
yeah. No, we were, you know, and before I bring up my point, I just want to mention that, you know, Radio Regent, thank you for being a part of the success journey of Not Your Typical Girl Talk.
Yeah, I like that.
When we started this show, there was no plan written out as to where we wanted to be by December 2020. There was no written plan.
There was nothing in sight.
There was nothing in sight. We just all decided to show up and talk online for an hour every Saturday.
No matter what.
That was the plan.
That's it.
And because of consistency, we were able to partner with Radio Regent, syndicated through iHeartRadio, and we're here today. So thank you so much, Radio Regent. Thank you to our Radio Regent listeners.
Yes.
We appreciate you. We love y'all, and we can't wait to see how much more we all do together in 2021.
Big things, big things.
So nothing but big things. And, you know, along with what Sheba just said, you know, about, you know, this idea of flapping our wings and still being on the ground, you know, it's an interesting thing when you just allow flow.
Like that word.
And this is and I say flow, and it actually goes very much in line with this show. We had no business plan for this show. We had no artistic plan for this show.
No, we had nothing.
The plan was literally, guys, I'm not even joking, to show up online,
turn on a computer,
and talk
and
for
some
an
kind
hour.
of a device to
that
film us.
was the plan. We didn't even really know what we were like. Well, I guess we'll just go on Instagram now because we can't meet
on Facebook.
Okay, like everything was flow. It all naturally came, and even the coaching thing, guys, it was through flow.
Right.
I didn't sit on the computer saying, today I'm going to do this. I was sitting there and I was like, let me just go online. And I'm like, oh, this is interesting. You know, I need to work on my own mindset. Maybe in learning this stuff, I can improve myself.
Very true. I remember that.
So that's what I did. I had no intention of, you know, going anywhere with it and doing more with it than that. But through flow, things happen. And I know that for you ladies, it's the same thing. You did not write out a detailed list, you know, based on, you know, smarter goals. Like you did not sit and write a SWOT. You literally said, today I'm gonna, you know, put some ideas on paper and see where it goes.
Pretty much.
Here comes the book.
That's it.
You know, you were there like, you know,
taking my health in my own hands.
And then all of a sudden you became this fitness guru person, and you know, and now you have an online store with some more stuff coming very soon. And you know, I was sitting there, and an old editor that I used to write for years and years ago in my 20s contacts me now.
Girl.
We've known each other for how many years? He writes for a luxury magazine, and he's like, are you still into journalism? Would you write a few pieces? This is how much we're paying. I didn't have to beg for no money.
Look at that.
I didn't have to, no exposure, but pay. And I was like, yes, I will do it. And I didn't go out there looking for it. It just came because we allowed flow. And I really do believe that amongst all the negative things that happened in 2020, we allowed things to just happen.
I love that.
Awesome.
That, you know what? That is so true. Like, honestly, that is so true. What did they say? You know, show God your plan and make him laugh. Something to that effect, right?
True. Very true.
Any plan I thought I had, the moment the pandemic hit, it went out the window. And I remember saying I was going to write and finish a book. And then all of a sudden the world shut down and everything was different. I said, okay, I guess I'm going to do a 6-book series. And this was like March 20th or something. My first book came out April 1st. Like I just said, I guess I'm going to do this. I randomly chose the number 6. There was no other reason. I think I'm going to do a 6-book series. And I actually wrote a 6-book series. And I still go back and I go, oh my God, you wrote a 6-book series. None of that was that. I got up every day and I just decided this is what I need to do. And I found a fire in me that was just like, oh my God, this is what you want to do.
Look at that.
This is actually what you want to do. This is it. You love, like, I wake up every day, Monday through Sunday. I love it.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? It wasn't Monday through Sunday. The show, I'm going to go do some editing on my books, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, I reach out to people, happy to talk about my book. I'm happy to talk about this show. Like, anybody who will listen, I tell them we have this show, right? I wasn't doing that before. It was I'm happy Monday through Wednesday. Oh, Thursday comes. Oh my God, Friday. And Friday, get me the hell out of here.
You choose the days. Like, oh, I'm happy today,
girl.
Like, and again, considering everything we've been through, to still be here, and it was flow. There was no. I look at, again, because I got to mention him, even with the relationship, when you think about, you know, there was no plan. And, you know, we both say something to each other, which I find is interesting. We didn't want a relationship, but we want each other. And that was the difference.
That's huge.
I was looking for a relationship. To me, I had no business even being in a relationship. And on top of that, during the pandemic, a long distance relationship is that, when our borders are closed. Like, you know what I'm saying? The borders are actually closed. Like, what are we doing? We didn't want a relationship. We wanted each other. Like, I feel like writing, as much as I enjoyed doing it as a youth, it was something to do. And now I realize I need writing. I want writing. You know, I want the show. I like this idea of media and entertainment and all of the things that are happening. It's all been flow. I didn't write it down. I didn't put it somewhere. I didn't tuck it somewhere. But we also knew that we were manifesting. When we think about our 2019 letters, I think about doing a vision board. I think about all these things. We were manifesting it. And unfortunately, 2020 actually had to happen for us, I would say, for us to, like Telly said, rise like the phoenix.
We did,
did. And
we did.
You know, I really do want to expand on that mention of manifestation and how these things came to us. And the thing is that, and I was even going to talk about this on some content that we're creating for hercastlegirls.com. But the idea of, you know, we as humans are really good about getting tangled up in the how. You know, how am I going to make that $20,000? How am I going to get on the radio? How am I going to get a single out? How am I going to write a 6-book series? And we sit there and we think about the how for like 10 years and it never gets done. But if you just wake up and say, you know what, I'm a writer and I'm going to write 6 books. So I'm just going to go do it now. What do writers do? Oh, okay, they write. So I'm going to go write.
Exactly.
The most simplest thing.
This is so literally how manifestation happens. You allow the thing to happen. If you want to be healthier this year, everybody, say, I am healthy. I eat healthy food.
That's it.
I'm a healthy person. And now I'm going to go do what healthy people do. Oh, okay, healthy people eat
well and they exercise.
You
don't need a personal trainer for that.
There is no, you know, you just do as, you know, you say it, therefore you are, you know, what is your identity?
Love it.
Really look deep into what is your identity, because what I've noticed here is that you noticed, Toshiba, you loved to write.
Yes.
Telly, you noticed that you love to run your own e-commerce business.
I do.
You love to create content.
I do.
So you're out there and you're just like, well, I'm just going to go do it.
Some great
Is it going to be right? I don't know.
Maybe not.
Is it going to be as pretty as someone who's been doing it for 10 years?
Maybe not.
I don't know. But how are you going to know until you start?
Drop a microphone.
I wish I could drop my mic right now.
You don't know you're good at basketball until you pick up the basketball and start playing. I was saying to like a colleague one day, like just before the Christmas holidays, I said, have you ever heard of that term, building a plane while flying it? And he's like, no. He's like, but I can tell you're about to drop some knowledge on me, so go ahead. And I'm like, well, I have this idea where I really do feel that as humans, we have the power to build a plane while flying it. We don't have to sit on the ground all around the directions trying to figure it out. We can start the engine.
Right.
and
get it in the air.
And get it in the air. And when we get up there, then we can figure out how to keep it up there.
Right.
And we'll work really hard because we don't want to die. So we're going to work
Keep on
faster
building.
to figure it out. Our
True.
brains will be stimulated to really get it done. And I'm like, this is why, you know, I have these beliefs where it's like, we don't have to sit there and wait for validation.
No.
We don't have to sit there and say, okay, someone said I'm good enough, so now I'm going to go do it. Listen,
come on
if
now.
you want to go and release a bunch of music,
do it.
Go
it.
do it.
Go do it.
If you want to write a book,
Go
do
it.
If you want to be the next Oprah and start your own little production company, and your production company is literally a desk in your bedroom,
Go do it.
Do it.
That's
Because
it.
one day you're going to be looking for a warehouse space to put your production company.
So
Amen.
true.
Like,
So-
honestly, that was, listen, people need to pay for that.
Girl.
You need to charge. No, but that is so
So
true.
true.
Like, we made a decision just to
Yeah.
do. That was a
Just to
decision
do.
to do.
That's it.
It was a decision to do, just to act, right? There was, and we get bogged down in the how, and so we start planning, and everybody tells you to put together a business plan and do a SWOT analysis of what's your strength, what's your weakness, what's your opportunity, what your threat. That is what business is telling you. They're telling you to do all of that, when the reality is you can't plan for the unknown.
Okay.
And I love how you said that too, ladies. Yeah. I love how you said it too, ladies, because you also said, you know, you just start. A lot of times, not only do we tangle ourselves with the how, but we figure we're not good enough to just start. So we go and ask other people who have no idea either what they're doing, but they're telling you, they're telling you, well, this is what you first need to do. First, you gotta get out this loan, and then hire me to be your manager. I'll help you out. Now, mind you, this person has no idea from Adam what to do. But that's the problem too. You're figuring out your how when you don't even, when God just said to just start, but you're asking everyone around the sun because you don't want to do it by yourself. Because if you fail, you don't want to look like the fool that did it and then failed. So you ask for other people to jump on this crazy boat. And then it starts to sing before you even start.
Right? I have a mentor, and she always tells me all the time, like, people will say, she'll say, well, have you started your thing yet? Oh, no, because, you know, I have to build my website. And she's like, do you need a website to make a sale?
Oh.
And they're like, well, no. And she's like, okay, but my Instagram, I don't have enough followers. You need 1,000 followers.
You only need one person
to sell a product. Like,
come on now.
When you bring it down to the reality of life, these things that we're worrying about and spending our energy in, it doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't.
And we're stopping ourselves. And 2020 gave us enough time to think about how we don't have to do things that conventional way anymore. We don't need to have all of those business corporation dealies to do something. If you're gonna do something, just go do it.
Everyone in the land.
Yes, and
just do it.
I'm just full of CEOs and mentors. But another CEO told me one time, I was questioning him, oh, should I do this? Should I do this presentation or that? And he said, Garcia, just do the thing. Just do the thing. And I'm like,
what thing?
Okay.
Do the thing.
What? Just do the thing. He's like, I gave this to you because I know you can do it. I want you to do it Garcia's way. Don't do it my way. Do it your way. So just go do the thing. Go do the thing.
That is all. Before we go, I literally need to make a point about that. I always tell people, there is no new idea, just a different way to do it. And that different way is your way. You are the most unique person there is. And so therefore, I love this idea. Do it your way. I wrote in my way. I didn't take anybody else's work and say, I'm going to write it like this. I said, this is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to do it my way. My boyfriend and I have a saying, and it's always, we'll just figure it out. We'll figure it out.
That's it.
Anything it is, our thing is like, we'll figure it out. People will come with all of their questions and both of our responses, we'll figure it out.
That's it.
The world is about figuring stuff out. Like, I'm sorry, and I understand that it's easy to say, let's plan and let's write down, but the reality is 2020 you should have got the lesson out of 2020 that you can't plan for everything. So just do it, because your way of doing it, like Garcia's way and Telly's way is not Toshiba's way. We could all be doing the same thing. It is different way. I encourage everybody I meet who says, I want to write a book to write it. Write it. How do I write it, girl? I'm like, just write it. Like,
start writing.
That's how you do it.
Exactly.
I don't have any other advice, but to start writing. And I'm not the type of person to be like, oh, well, you shouldn't write a book. Because there is enough money out there in the world for people.
All of that.
So I will encourage anyone who wants to do what I do to go and do it. But you actually have to
read more than one book. And they listen to more than one song.
Okay. Go do it. The more the
and they
better.
buy more than one shirt.
Exactly. What's up with having more authors? And
we need more people to jump on, if anything.
Truly.
If you don't, you know.
And not
Truly.
that.
I love all of that. I love all of that. I think that, you know, people that are listening are going to be so encouraged by this talk. I think it's important to go into 2021 knowing that, you know, we listened to the experts. We all saved 3 months worth of cash. And,
I hope y'all are listening.
And then March 2020 showed up, and we bought all the quarantine snacks
and all the toilet paper.
Right. And by June we were all broke and wondering what we would do with our life.
Girl.
So if that alone doesn't teach you, then I don't know what will.
Amen to that.
And that's my takeaway for
this. Yeah, you know what? I agree with you, ladies. You know, my takeaway is still get that bag. And you know what? When you get to that bridge, cross it. In the meantime, just go step by step, day by day. Don't ask Dick, Tom, and Harry, oh, what should I do? Just do it. When you if you get to a problem, figure out that one problem, ask one person that you know is going to be beneficial to help you. Then when you get your answer, leave them out of it and then keep going. Don't let another year come where you're sitting there saying, oh, I wish I could have, but I didn't. As we see, life is so short and so unpredictable. It's so important to make sure you're doing something that you love. That's my takeaway. Girl,
you preached a whole sermon that I wrote a damn book about. Okay, just in like little things. I'm telling you, just do. That is like Nike says, just do it. That literally is. That is what people need to think about for 2021. Whatever I want to do, I'm just going to do it. And tell you, get on the point. Stop going to other people who have never done what you've done, asking them if you need to do it.
Exactly.
Because they're gonna say
every day. You're just kind of.
They're going to say you can't, and they're going to ask you 65 million questions that's going to deter you from doing it. So anything I have to say for 2021, I know my motto in 2021 is just do it. And I'm going to encourage anybody, whatever you feel like you want to do, you do not need anybody to validate it for you, like Garcia said earlier. Just do. So that is our takeaway. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much. This was great, girl.
Everyone.
Thank you so much, everyone at Radio Regent. Thank you to all of our listeners, all of our viewers. iHeartRadio, everyone is the bomb. Thank you so much, guys. Don't forget to follow us on all our social medias under @NotYourTypicalGirlTalk. And make sure as well to do a Future Me letter, as Shiva said in the beginning, futureme.org. You will be hella amazed.
See everybody next week. Love you, ladies. See you next week.
Love you, girl.
Thank you all for listening.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.